Hey guys, welcome to Just About Movies podcast. It's just me today, all alone. I'm Elliot, and I'm going to take you through my review of the new Pixar film, Soul.
Your name, honey?
I'm Joe. I teach middle school band. Cut it, go for it! Today started out as the best day of my life.
Soul came out this year, Christmas Day, on Disney Plus, starring Jamie Foxx, Tina Fey, Graham Norton, Richard Ayoade, Angela Bassett. So many massive names on this film. Directed by Pete Docter, who did stuff like Up, Inside Out, Monsters Inc. Also had some big involvement in films like Brave, Toy Story 4, a lot of Pixar animated shorts, which all the ones I find are beautiful. I think Bao and Lou and things like that. And a director that really knows how to tell a beautiful story about people, I find anyway, with films like Up and Inside Out. And then this one, Soul, which is very much about people and real life experiences and real emotions. I'm going to talk about the story first. So, story is about Joe, he's got a passion for music, mainly jazz. He's a school teacher, teaches school band. It sort of dominates his life. I think music does. I think he's very, everything to him is music, and but he's not quite where he wants to be with the teaching. I don't think. I think he wants to be in a band. He wants to be playing in front of people. Due to actually, I'll say spoilers ahead. So he actually gets put into a coma, and he's forced to sort of explore what is so special about life and us as individuals. And he's sort of put in a whole new environment where he's almost he's like a soul, and he's in the great before as opposed to the great beyond, and he has to accompany another soul called 22, which is voiced by Tina Fey, the amazing Tina Fey. She's very good. And she doesn't want to be part of life, and sort of it's Joe's job to show her what living is for. It's a beautiful story, as you'd expect. I think it was one of those things. It's just such a lovely concept, and it's sort of, you knew you were sort of going to be in for an emotional journey. I did find the story at times a little bit rushed. I did find that it seemed to happen so quickly. Everything seemed to happen very quickly. She seemed to be introduced to things quickly that you almost could. I felt you can sort of settle on something and enjoy it. But I kind of understand that in a way. I mean, it had a lot to get across. It had to tell you everything that was going on and drive the story. But personally, I did feel that was a little bit, the sort of flow of it was a little bit rushed. That sort of caused me. I didn't really feel for the characters as much because of that. I know the ending. It's he gets a second chance at life, and it's not that I didn't care, but I didn't have that. I thought it was going to be a tearjerker. It's one of those films, you sort of look at and you think, oh, here we go. It's Pixar. It's Pete Docter, all that sort of thing. You think, yes, it's going to be an emotional one. It's about soul and life and the meaning of life almost. And I just didn't have. I didn't cry while watching it, which I was expecting to do. But I potentially need to watch it again. Maybe I wasn't in the right sort of frame of mind. It was Boxing Day. I was had a few drinks and a bit of food, so maybe it wasn't the best time to be watching it. But so one of the things I did have an issue with the story was, for me, Joe was a character that his life was music, and all he talked about was how he wanted to play music, and it was his dream. So I kind of couldn't understand why, when he, had his moment and he played music in front of people, and he had the recognition that he always wanted, and he played it so incredibly, why he would then have this sort of existential crisis about himself and how, oh, was this what he wanted to do? And I thought, that is what the whole thing has been building up to that. And I thought, to me, that didn't quite make sense. I didn't feel that worked sort of properly. But The film has some lovely moments. It does have some really funny moments too. I think there's definitely a lesson to take from it. You know, it's an understanding perhaps to follow your dreams, and find something you're truly passionate about, but not to sort of be over consumed by them, or let them dictate your life. Enjoy the finer things. And one thing I have to say is the scenes in which people get lost in the zone when he's playing music and he's in the zone of playing music, and you sort of lose yourself. They're so beautifully done, and I think it really sort of like it's a really good example of that moment where you do find you really are just on a roll in the zone. I just thought it was so beautifully done. It was so well done, really nice. Yeah, so overall, like the story, like I said, it's a nice story. It's something that you can follow along quite easily, and but overall, I just didn't have enough of an emotional connection with the main character Joe at the end. I didn't really feel too strongly about him, really. We'll go into the characters a little bit. So Joe for me, Joe's a likable character. He a little bit limited as a character, I found. He has his moment, he changes, and he's sort of given a second chance at life to cherish everything that there is about life. And I just didn't have that connection. I didn't feel that. I did find his relationship with his mother a little bit strange. He's a grown man, and he should be able to play in a jazz band if he wants. Even if it's playing in a jazz band at night and working at a school in the day. Like the whole idea that his mum would shun him and think so badly of him if he did I couldn't get my head around that. I found that a bit odd. But there's a lovely scene when they do talk about it and how you should follow your dreams even if they fail. But I did find the whole thing a little bit weird. Personally, I'd think surely it doesn't matter if he wants to be in a jazz band. So I was a bit sort of that sort of threw me a little bit. 22, the soul that Tina Fey sort of voices, I felt more of a connection to her. So Joe has to sort of show her the reasons to live, and I liked her story because I thought she was obviously the funny character, and I wanted to see what her spark was. I actually wanted to see her journey. I wanted to follow that journey, and I think the fact that she teaches us and Joe that it is the little things that you should, enjoy in life as well as the big moments that you have, even if it is just like in the film where it's a slice of pizza or the way the wind blows through leaves. I think it is important to sort of enjoy moments like that. And I liked that. I really liked that. So, and I liked that being the reason she wanted to live. And I thought I had so much more of a connection to that character than I did Joe's. But overall, lovely characters. They go for a funny adventure, and it's enjoyable. My favourite part about Soul is, without a shadow of doubt, is the way that the film looks. It was just incredible. It's I just don't think you can critique the film in any way for the way it looks. It was beautiful. It had, like a lot of Pixar films recently, I found myself in some shots sort of thinking, is that animated or is that real life? And it's sort of, I remember when I watched, I think it's The Good Dinosaur, and the opening shot of that, I was watching it in the cinema, and I remember thinking, is that animated? And I think that's how far it's come now, where you're sort of questioning whether a shot is animated or not. And I just thought the street shots in New York just looked so warm, like so inviting, and the characters themselves looked really warm and inviting. It looked real as sort of a Pixar character can look. The way the light hit the buildings and shone through the street, and I just think it was gorgeous. It was so beautifully done. All the shots in the grate before, they looked really clean and fluffy, and sort of like you wanted to sort of touch it and run across it yourself. And it's a real spectacle to see, and I just think it's such a shame that it's not being experienced on big screens because of obviously the current climate that we're living in. But yeah, it was a stunning film. Like, it just looked absolutely beautiful. So yeah, that's sort of my review of it really. Like overall, I didn't quite get the emotional experience that I wanted when I came into watching the film, but you know, it's an enjoyable film. It's a lovely story, and I think personally, it's a solid 7 out of 10. Just for the characters and the setting and the style of it alone, I think is puts it definitely at 7 to 10. For me, it didn't have the emotional connection that Inside Out did, that Up did, anything like that. It didn't have that sort of emotional connection. I didn't feel it as much. But once, like I said, really good film, definitely worth watching. And I wonder if Pixar will ever make a bad film, you know. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Check out Soul. It's a brilliant film. And if you have any comments in it, anything you agreed with, anything you didn't agree with me, just chuck them in the comment section, leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the new year.